Welcome to the Positively No Gambling podcast, the pro football show that is definitely not about betting. My name is Glenn Fraser. It is Thursday, September 4th, and these are the Week 1 NFL picks. Keeping it simple here, we're just going to pick all 16 games against the spread. No teases, no parlays, no same game, none of that. Just against the spread. I'll pick all 16, but I will designate five as best bets, and then that's what I'll track myself against, but also do a tracking again for all of the picks against the spread. So with that said, let's dive right into tonight's game, the Thursday night kickoff. Big one, Dallas at Philly. Obviously, Philly's offense is stacked. Dallas's defense very much questionable now that, especially now that they have traded Micah Parsons. Conversely, Philly's defense, a lot of newer faces here, especially in the starters. Dak Prescott's coming back. Javonte Williams is new. George Pickens is new. A lot of question marks regarding Dallas's offense and Philly's defense. Conversely, Philly's offense looks to be pretty stacked. Dallas's defense is obviously a question mark. I definitely would pick Philly to win this game, but I'm going to go with Dallas plus the 7.5. I like that hook. The lot went into this pick, but one stat that I found as a 7.5 point favorite, road teams overall are 63% against the spread since 2019. So it seems like a sucker bet, the plus 7.5 or the minus 7.5 sometimes, and it kind of has been. Get that hook, get that plus seven number, especially in division. Dallas potentially could pull off the big upset, but for against the spread, I'll take Dallas. Friday night going into the Brazil game, Kansas City technically at the Chargers, but obviously this is neutral site. Kansas City's got the new left tackle, Josh Simmons. They're going to be without Rashee Rice, so some question marks around their receiving core. What do we know about what Kelsey's going to bring to the table this year, et cetera, et cetera. Uh, Chargers defense, a lot of people think that this defense is going to regress a little bit. Couple of new faces, couple of people that have left. Khalil Mack still there. Um, the Chargers offense and the Kansas City defense. Chargers, O'Marion Hampton, Najee Harris expected to potentially start. Might slate him in there. Couple of new faces on their receiving cores. Keenan Allen, Trey Harris. Big one here, the tackles. Uh, Trey Pipkins coming in. That's going to be a big matchup to watch when it comes to Kansas City's pass rush. Kansas City just stacked defense once again. I'm going to go KC minus 3.5. Reluctantly, not a ton of stats here to highlight this matchup. Given that this is neutral, this is a stay away, but for the purposes of making picks every week, I will take Kansas City minus 3.5. Next one, Tampa Bay at Atlanta. This is one I like a lot. I'm going to make it a best bet. I'm going to take Tampa minus the 2.5. Ibuka. Now, obviously, Godwin's not starting, but Ibuka seems to be coming right in and seamlessly integrating himself into the Tampa offense. Atlanta, so many question marks on defense. Obviously, they drafted the pass rushers. Not sure how much action they see, how much effectiveness they get against a good Tampa O-line. Tristan Wirfs is going to be out. The rest of that O-line is pretty solid, though, in terms of the Atlanta offense and the Tampa defense matchups. So many question marks with Penix. The Tampa defense, some new faces. Hassan Reddick, Jacob Parrish is expected to start. He's a rookie at nickelback, so there's definitely some risk here. Could end up going over. I don't touch over unders, but stat that I saw that I liked as a home dog since 2019, Atlanta 7-13. So with 20 game sample size, they have only covered 7 games as a home dog since 19. I know these games were close. These games are always close. It's a little bit risky, but I like Tampa in this one. Moving on to Cincinnati at Cleveland. Not a ton to say here. Cincinnati's a big favorite, -5.5 as a home favorite, as a road favorite, sorry. And they do cover that number a lot over the past 6 years. They are 15-7 against the spread on the road. I not a I'm just gonna go with Cleveland here. I don't love the fact that Cincinnati is such a big favorite, and this is a wonky rat line. So I'm going to go Cleveland. I would not bet this one, but I'm going to take Cleveland for this. Indy hosting Miami. They're 1.5 point favorites. One that I love here, home teams, and we'll see this one again a little bit later. Home teams are 25-12 covering 1.5 point spread since 2019. So much is question mark on Miami's side. They, on paper, their defense looks to be decent, but there's so much of a question mark in their secondary versus a maybe okay Indianapolis offense. We'll see what Danny Dimes brings to the table. Um, Waddle is hurt, I believe. Tyreek is God knows what. Achan is God knows what. There's so many question marks around this Miami offense. I'm going to go with the gut and say Indy covers this spread at home. Vegas at New England. Another one that I like. Um, two teams that no two teams have turned or attempted to turn around more than these two. So it's a really cool matchup in week one. Obviously, Geno's new, Genti's new. Dante Thornton expected to start um, versus a defense that is potentially going to have one, two, three, four, 8 new starters, 9 new starters. I don't know what's going on with Christian Gonzalez and whether he's going to play. Um, Very similar story on Vegas's side. A lot of new folks on defense when it comes to the Raiders. I don't know what Drake May is going to be. I'm not as high on him as others. I'm going to go with Vegas +2.5. And Vegas is 22-16 against the spread as a road dog since 19. So a pretty big sample size. They tend to cover the spread. They get disrespected. I think this is a slightly disrespectful line. I think that Vegas is clearly buying the New England hype or assuming that the public will. So a little bit of a rat line if you're on New England. I'm going to take Vegas plus the 2.5. Arizona, New England, another one that I absolutely love. This is a best bet. Arizona giving 6.5. This is not really about Arizona versus New Orleans as much as it is about these teams' history in as covering non-divisional games. So literally the complete opposite metric. Arizona 22-10 against the spread outside of the NFC West when they're on the road. New Orleans 12-20, the complete opposite when hosting teams outside of the NFC South. Against the spread, This is a good number too, -6.5, road favorite. It seems like a sucker bet. It seems like a rat line. Historically, it's performed incredibly well. I love this pick. I really like Arizona in this one. Pittsburgh and the Jets. Aaron Rodgers returning to the Meadowlands. Justin Fields getting revenge on his old team. Hilarious. We all know about that one. I don't got much with this one. I'm going to take Pittsburgh reluctantly. Um, Staying away from this one entirely, but I'll take Pittsburgh for this exercise. Giants at Washington, another one that I really like. Giants are 26 and 20 as road dogs since 19 and 11 and 7 within the division on the road. They cover. They cover against division opponents. They covered at least once last year against Washington. They almost beat Washington. They should have beat Washington. That was the game they didn't have their kicker. Um, I think that they can stay in this game with their pass rush. I think they got a chance to win this game, but I will take them just plus the 6.5, and that's another one of the best bets. Carolina, Jacksonville. Boy, this is rough. Both of these teams are so bad against the spread in recent history, but Jacksonville is sort of exceptionally bad. Not a huge sample size, but they're 6 and 12 as a home favorite since 2019 and 11 and 21 at home outside of the division. Carolina's metrics are not much better, but I like the 3.5. I like getting the hook there. They might have a chance to win this game outright, so I will take Carolina plus the 3.5. It's another one I love. Denver giving 8.5. I think this is a double-digit plus win for Denver, in my opinion. Cam Ward, first game in the NFL, mile high, great Denver defense. We all know that. Uh, Rookie quarterbacks, even last year, Jaden Daniels did not have the best time when he started out in Tampa. Tennessee is literally pathetic on the road. 38% against the spread outside of the division, 12 and 20 since 2019. I love Denver in this one. Obviously, I wish it was a little bit less, but I'm willing to take the gamble with Denver laying the 8.5. Niners at Seattle. A lot of people picking Seattle in this one. They're a 2.5 point dog at home. I understand why, but when digging into some of the metrics, San Francisco covers as a road favorite historically, and they are 11 and 7 in the division on the road. Not a huge sample size. Seattle is very seldom a home underdog. There's only been 15 instances since 2019, but they're 6 and 9 in those games. So not a great metric there. 7 and 11 covering home games within the NFC West. I like San Francisco a lot this year. I'm down a little. I'm down on Seattle versus just the public. The public seems to have bought into them. Um, might eat these words, but I think San Francisco will cover, but I'm not going to make it one of the best bets. All right. Detroit and Green Bay. Now we're getting into some big, big, big time matchups. This one was tough to handicap, so I'm just going to go with Detroit plus 2.5. Green Bay covers as a home favorite. No surprise, but they are 25 and 17 since 2019 as a home favorite and 10 and 8 in the division. Conversely, though, Detroit, and they've been a road dog a lot. Those are obviously backdated metrics. The last couple of years, they have not been a road dog too many times. So anytime you could get Detroit plus points, I would say take it. The one metric that put this over the top for Detroit for me was the road teams being 55% at covering at this 2.5 number. This is the new sort of 1.5 or three. This is the number when two teams are relatively even. This is what you get, and this is a good number to jump on. I will take 55% all day, all night. So this is a little bit of a gamble. I don't love this one because of the new coordinators and how good the Packers might be, especially now with the addition of Micah Parsons. But I'm going to go with Detroit here. Houston and the Rams didn't have a ton of reasons to take the Rams, but what put it over the top for me was Houston's inability to cover the spread on the road when they're out of the AFC South, 12-20 over the past 6 years. I don't know. I'm not a huge Houston guy. Obviously, the pass rush can match up well against Houston against the Rams' questionable offensive line. Let's put it that way. But I still think McVay, Stafford, Nakua, Devontae, all the studs should lead them to victory and cover against Houston. This is the big one. This is the game of the week, in my opinion. AFC Championship preview. This could be for home field advantage. Obviously, these two teams are stacked. These are the best two teams in the AFC when it comes to pure talent. And they are incredible at covering spreads. Baltimore, 22-10 against the spread on the road outside of the division. That is crazy. 9-4 against the spread in primetime games on the road. Not a big sample size, but also 9-4 as a road dog. Insane. Nobody covers. What team covers 70%? If you bet Baltimore every time they're on the road and they're not in the division, you are cashing 70% of tickets. It's wild. But I really like Buffalo in this one. The metric that put it over the top is the same one we described with the Indy bet, which is 25-12. The generic home team covering this 1.5 since 2019. I think Buffalo gets it done and they win on Sunday night. Finally, Monday night, big one, Minnesota, Chicago. I don't love this at all, but I'm going to take Minnesota on the road. Anytime they're a road favorite over the past 6 seasons, they are covering 65% of the time, 15-8, a decent sample size. And Chicago in the division at home, 6-12. That really is what put it over the top for me. Okay, so to recap, I'm going to take this one off. I'm not going to make this a best bet. I just want to enjoy that game. So the best bets will be number one, Denver -8.5. Number two, the Giants +6.5. Number three, Arizona laying 6.5. Number four, Vegas covering the 2.5 at New England. And number five, Tampa Bay -2.5 on the road against Atlanta. Let's hope for 3 out of 5. I would take 3 out of 5 all day, all season. Anytime you're cashing in 60% of your tickets, you are profitable. So let's go. And that is it.